Hello. Yeah, I felt like since I wasn't here the past 2 weeks for both shows, the camera should like start on my face. Yeah. So you get to stay away. You get to stare at my face. No, you got to see him all last week. You get to stare at me for like 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yeah. Okay, 15.
I'd say like 1. I need water.
Yes, enjoy this face. You didn't see this face last week. What's going on, people? It is so good to see you. So good to be seen. Yes, I was in Texas last week. Doing some. I had to sing with that. And look at you. See.
There, I fixed it.
That kind of stuff happens when he touches
that kind of stuff.
But no, I was in Texas last week. Had safe travels. FYI, I will never fly Frontier Airlines again.
So what happened? So I know they're crap, but so what happened on your experience?
Well, I was able to get by the baggage fees because I stuffed everything in my backpack, including my laptop, which was not easy, but I made it work. Mm-hmm. But what made the experience just abysmal was both of my flights going and coming back were delayed. And I had an overnight layover, which I thought I had figured out what to do about that, but I decided to sleep in the airport. I'm never doing that again.
Well, that must have been some experience.
It was. Well, it was very interesting seeing people make little pallets behind chairs and stretching out across the. So that was very interesting. But I was supposed to leave at 10:15, and my flight got pushed back to 1.
Well, wouldn't it be not surprising that there would be delays considering where you were going?
No, I wasn't flying into Houston. I was flying into San Antonio. So that didn't make any sense. And then coming back, but that wasn't that bad. But coming back, my flight got delayed twice. And so I was like, I just want to get... same Denver, Colorado. I was like, I just want to get
but you were coming out of Houston.
No, I was coming out of San Antonio.
Oh.
Yes, they have no excuse. So, anyway.
Well, at least you weren't with United Airlines, because, man, that would have been a real drag.
Right. Somebody asked me, how come you don't fly every year? I said, no, they like to fight, and then, it just ended up in a bad situation.
I do Allegiant.
Oh, my aunt has nothing positive to say about Allegiant Airlines ever. Ever. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to...
you might as well just not fly on planes at all.
Well, no, I'm just going to bite the bullet, pay for the regular ticket so I can have my 2 little carry-ons, get my free food on the airplane, and my free soda.
$5 for fruit snacks. That's nuts.
So, yeah. Yeah, and then... well,
$2.50 for a bottle of water.
And then a little stewardess come by me. Would you like to purchase a beverage or a snack, or would you like a complimentary water? Complimentary water?
Complimentary.
Get out of my face.
Complimentary to keeping us thirsty.
Yes. Complimentary for the stuff that I can go and push a button at and it shoots out of the... Yeah, complimentary.
I've got something complimentary. And what the bottle's like not even like half this size. Like, it's like one of those tiny little ones.
Right, and the water was and the water was nasty. Oh. How do you get nasty water?
Well, there is one city that's still dealing with nasty water for the past year.
I bet that's where they got it. They got my water out the toilet, or they went to that city and got it.
No, but it's brown.
Yeah, I think they stuck something in to make it clear. That water was disgusting. Anyway, you didn't come on here to hear me vent about my traveling. Outside of that, I had a great time. I did go to Houston because I had to sing in Houston, and then I saw some of the effects from Hurricane Harvey, some of the neighborhoods that were badly affected. And just a sidebar, the really bad thing that's going on is a lot of the lower income neighborhoods that were really badly affected, they're not getting the help that they need. And a lot of these neighborhoods the senior citizens lived in, and so last week they kind of cleaned out their houses, but the mold residue was still there, and on the front lawn it's just this piles of trash, and it looks like the trash guy hasn't been back, but that's not the actual case. Their furniture and everything that was torn out of the house is actually, there's nowhere else to put it, and they're not coming by to help them. So
I guess you could say Hurricane Harvey.
Hey, no, we're not. No, you're not. No, you're not gonna. No, you're not. No, stop it.
A Family Feud.
Oh, that was interesting how you did that. That one took me a minute. I was like, what? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I did some help. I did some work and some help out there, and it was very, very, very right. Right, how you doing, Brandon?
It's like, man, you thought that
Yeah.
it was gonna go dark, and I was like, no.
So yeah, that was very enlightening and interesting. So good.
Hey, Richard.
Richard, I get to see Richard here, and I get to see Richard on my Facebook Lives because he chimes in on my Facebook Lives.
Oh,
How
yeah.
you doing, man,
Well,
Richard?
He actually came in last week because I sold him the Zelda he finally wanted.
Oh, really? Well, you know what? I was on Facebook Live last week, so he's dead. But anyway,
That's fine, but he was here.
how you doing, Richard?
He was here
How you doing,
personally with
Richard?
me,
How you?
'cause,
I know, but he talks to me more often on my Facebook Live feeds.
Yeah, but question: who does he prefer?
Being that he friended me and is on my Facebook Live feed.
I'm friends with him.
Are you lies? You're friends with him? How dare you, Richard? How dare you?
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Oh. Anyway, get back to what was initially supposed to be talked about today. 15 things you don't know about Crash. But before we get to that, we have like one copy of NBA 2K18 left. I think it's for the PS4. So come and snag that before somebody else does.
And soon we'll also be having Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite coming in
Whoop
soon.
whoop whoop whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thanks, Sam. We appreciate that.
Richard.
Richard's like, I got love for everybody. Anyway, yeah, 50 things. So, did you look at this yet?
And did you know what this actually means?
No.
Well, I forgot what the rockstar name was, but he actually used it from his grandmother as a way to, quote, fight the devil. Yeah, I just learned that yesterday.
Well,
So that's why, everybody does this in a good way instead of thinking of it as like a bad thing.
I see.
I don't know, like, it was just something interesting. Oh, yeah, and another thing. This is completely off what I was just talking about, but Toys R Us is going bankrupt.
Well, I haven't been there in like ever.
Well, that was literally like all over the news yesterday and today.
Why? See, now you're gonna make.
He's like, now he has to go look it up and everything. Richard said he's an equal opportunist.
I believe it. Toys R Us seeks bankruptcy to survive retail upheaval. Well, you know what? If they could just hang on, if they are Brandon.
They are.
They really
I'll
are.
admit they are, yeah. But to be fair, like, as overpriced as it may be, they do have good stuff there for, like, collecting wise. But other than that, they're super expensive. Like,
I haven't been there in quite a while. If they can survive like the next 2 months, it's going to be holiday season. Next 2-3 months,
that's
it's
the
going to be
thing.
holiday
Like,
season.
Toys R Us in its generality, like, all the money that they get is from Christmas.
This is true.
Like, every time I go by over there by my house, like the
There's
one over there,
nobody
on
there.
Shawnee- almost
There's
nobody's
nobody.
there. I'm just like, well, it's fair because all their shit's expensive.
Well, what's
Overpriced,
expensive? Because I haven't been there in like a really long time. So,
and just the general like price ranges that they have.
so if
'Cause,
I
like,
wanted
if you were
like
to
an
look-
act-
like,
so
if
if I
you were
wanted
to
like
look
an action figure,
Yeah, if you were to look at any one of their products, I guarantee you could find it cheaper online because that's its actual price. But it's like, I understand the conveniency that it's there and blah blah blah. You don't have to deal with shipping, but even with the cost of shipping included, if you were to buy the same thing online, it's still cheaper.
they're borrowing $2 billion. Jeez,
Yeah, that's what they did.
golly, how are they gonna pay that back?
Yeah.
Well, Christmas. But then it's just restarting your cycle all over again. So
I mean, hell, even Kmart freaking does better than them. And Kmart is like kind of dead around here.
there's Kmart is non-existent, except if you go deep in Clovis.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, wow, that's sad.
I miss
Wow.
Super Kmart.
Yeah, because they had Taco Bell.
Any
They
sales
had
on your
Taco Bell in
PS2s? No, Alexis, we don't have any sales on our PS2s, but however, our PlayStation 2s still sell for $55 for the large original one and $70 for the slim one.
there. Right.
They all come with their original controllers
Right.
and cords and etc.
Right.
Right. We're living in an age where online shopping will take over and retail toy stores will be obsolete. Look at KB Toys. Mm-hmm.
Man, KB Toys. You took me
God,
back with
KB
that one.
Toys.
You took,
It took me a while to process, like, KB Toys. Oh my god.
you took me back with KB Toys.
The big brick was the best PS2. The big
Yeah.
hunk of brick.
Jeez. You took me back with KB Toys. That was wow.
I miss KB Toys now. Crap.
Jeez.
I remember when EB Games was a thing, but then GameStop bought them.
What about it was in Funkoland.
Oh yeah, Funkoland! Oh, I always loved going there.
Oh, that was crazy. Anyhow,
That's not funny.
did you go through this yet?
No.
Okay, so found this really interesting thing last week before I left
So I guess
regarding.
you said we're gonna crash into this. Huh?
Yeah, we're gonna crash into this. Found this really interesting blog last week regarding facts regarding Crash Bandicoot.
The facts.
Yes, the facts.
Oh my God.
Little to unknown facts about Crash Bandicoot that a lot of people don't know. And some of these,
one, he's a bandicoot.
yeah, some of these I was surprised to see, and I'm a huge Crash Bandicoot fan.
Fact
So,
two, he has a sister.
yeah, everybody knows that.
He's a family man.
Anyhow, okay, so.
He always likes to mask himself sometimes.
It's no secret that Sonic and Mario have, kind of dominated for a long time. But I think Crash has kind of been there for a while. So, number 15.
I'd rather talk about Spyro the Dragon, but that's just me.
Wrath of Cortex was originally a free roaming game.
I remember that.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Well, because it's like they had trailers for it initially, and they wanted it to be open, free roam, but it just didn't work out.
Right.
Oh yeah, Crunch.
14. Crash Bandicoot almost had an animated series.
I wouldn't have minded it.
I would have really, really liked that. This
But
match,
if it were to come in nowadays, it would probably look like Sonic Boom. But to be fair, Sonic Boom's hilarious because they always make fun of their own franchise.
I think it would have been perfect for like those WB Saturday morning sessions, or like 6 a.m. in the morning before
6 a.m. No, you gotta have it at like at the 7:30.
No. I'm saying 6 a.m. in the morning. Remember when you getting dressed for school and Darkwing Duck and X-Men came on?
Darkwing Duck.
That's one of my favorite. Between Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, those are my two favorite cartoon theme songs. You know what? I had to go and create.
It's sad
Crash.
because like literally the only remake of an old cartoon that's only doing well is DuckTales.
It is.
Everything else is just.
But this just inspired me. I think I'm going to go create a theme song for Crash Bandicoot the series. Yeah, I'm going to create a theme song for Crash Bandicoot the series.
Rayman, Crash, Spyro on a Smash Brothers type game. Well, here's the thing.
I posed that question.
Well, the thing is, PlayStation did already do something like that. It was PlayStation Battle Royale. They did it between all the PlayStation stars like Kratos, Sly Cooper, Fat Princess, etc. But I mean, as interesting as it was, it's like it really still just couldn't compete with Smash. I mean, to be fair, like also Crash, Spyro, and Rayman wasn't even in it, as far as I knew.
I'm surprised it didn't, with Sonic, Mario, Kirby, and Donkey Kong having one. Right.
Well, the thing is, now it could be a possibility. I mean, aside from just Crash, possibly Rayman now, because now that Nintendo's, more than welcoming and bringing in third-party companies now, especially like Ubisoft with, their Mario and Raving Rabbids Kingdom, there could be a possibility that if another Smash game is made, there's tons more room now for that kind of a possibility. Because now, people have been doing like fan stuff like for Rayman wanting to be in the next Smash. There's one that was really well done, but it was fake. But it was a damn good fake. And if something like that, if they do confirm another Smash, like who knows like what possibilities there could be.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
That'd be funny. This says
And Knuckles.
interesting thing. Allegedly, the Crash Bandicoot animated series would have followed much of the same model and the style of Earthworm Jim animated series. How long did that last?
Not too long, but it was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I remember. Yeah, I remembered it. I want to redo with Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Oh, jeez.
No, thank you.
Excuse
No, thank
me,
you.
princess.
Sony, however, adopted the opinion that 3D animation should be their priority at the moment, with this leading to the series effectively being abandoned. See, so we have Sony to blame for not getting this wonderful masterpiece that is Crash Bandicoot. It's Crash! I think that's how the song's gonna start. Anyhow, okay, let's keep going. 13. A full-fledged Crash and Spyro team-up crossover has happened. Yeah, we've actually had the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the
purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The purple and orange.
Yeah, purple and orange. So, yeah. 12. Crash's creators have mixed opinion on the post-Naughty Dog titles. I wasn't aware of these.
I hate Crash of the Titans, man.
Oh, was that a post-Naughty Dog? Crash of the Titans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, because Naughty Dog was the
was
one that...
Was Twinsanity post-Naughty Dog?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah, because, like, everything post-Naughty Dog was bad.
Bad, yeah.
Crash of the Titans, like, just literally anything after Twinsanity, it was just, that's where it crashed and burned, and that was everything post-Naughty Dog.
Right.
Naughty Dog was the one that literally started with it and going all the way up into Twinsanity, then they just dropped from there. That's why it just took a turn for the worst.
Right.
But then, now everybody's spirits got rekindled with this
Reboot.
blessing of a remaster.
Yeah, remaster, yeah.
And hopefully Naughty Dog comes back and maybe, make another Crash game, but, it'll just be on its own.
Naughty Dog. Say that 10 times fast.
Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog. What?
That wasn't 10.
Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog.
Okay,
Naughty
no,
Dog,
please
Naughty
don't.
Dog, Naughty
All right,
Dog, Naughty Dog.
anyhow.
There, that's 10.
Hey, what's going on? Oh,
Get
that's
better
why
internet.
this is running. So let's do this. It's getting rather toasty in here, I think. What? Why did I always all of a sudden start talking with a British accent?
Righto.
Like what? Like what is going on? Like
That's not even.
like what is life?
That's not even British.
It is so. Who are you to tell me that my accent is not effectively or accurately British? Cheerio. Cornflakes. Fruity Pebbles.
So where's my news?
Anyhow, okay.
Because I really need to look well hung right now. So
Crap. You're hungover?
no,
Oh.
well hung.
Oh. Anyhow, Crash Bandicoot was originally a character named Willy the Wombat.
Really the wombats.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, that looks weird.
Yeah.
He even has like freaking like hiker boots.
I know this is so off
I'm
topic.
not sure if you guys have talked about this in previous video, but what are you guys' thoughts on Call of Duty World War II? Feel obligated to answer if it's too far off. We did talk about
We
this.
did, yes. You want to go first?
I'm fine with it reverting back to, basically
Roots.
well, it's not just its roots, but it's basically just how Call of Duty started overall, like as a whole. Because,
Right.
Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3, and Modern Warfare, well, the first one, Call of Duty 4, all of those were in the same line of, the Italian meme. All of those were in this, all of those were in the same line of, like old-fashioned war, nothing like too futuristic. Like it was fine. Modern Warfare was like kind of like today's modernized warfare, like for today, like with the stuff that we would use. That's why it was really fine. But then after that, it started like going like too far into the future. Like people were like, whoa, hang on. Well, so
Yeah.
come back, because we didn't want like all that futuristic stuff. Like that stuff that can be taken care of with Mass Effect, Halo, etc.
Right.
So now that we're going back to ye old times, World War II, and they did say that if people get shot or anything, that they're not going to be able to just do a couple breathing and then be totally fine. So my guess is what they might do with that is there could be like med kits sitting around, like laying around in the battlefield somewhere that you have to find if you want to heal yourself. Otherwise, you'll still have the same amount of health until you're able to find like some sort of medical kit.
Interesting.
Or
Yeah.
if like you're bleeding out, you have to find stuff to like patches so you won't bleed out as much, and then just stuff like that, like to make it like kind of more realistic. That would be really cool, but I'm gonna have to wait and see till it comes out in November to find out everything pretty much.
Yeah, I think
Maybe the next one
going back to the original Call of Duty roots was necessary because of like pretty much what Brandon just said, the debacle that happened last year with them going way too far. And so I think, they threw it up against the wall wondering if it was going to stick or not, and it did not. And so they did the wise thing, which is let's go back to what worked, let's go back to what people loved, and start from there, and then progress on from there. So I think that's necessary. Rumor has it that next year they may be going back to the Modern Warfare feel for Call of Duty. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out, how this Call of Duty plays out. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's necessary. I think it was a wise decision going back to the Call of Duty World War feel, and I'm actually looking forward to playing it. I'm really, really looking forward to playing it because that was kind of what I loved about it. Had that whole Medal of Honor feel, and so the whole Black Ops, and I wasn't really too keen on that. But the World War II, absolutely. and the subdivisions that they have in there. That's really what I'm excited about. Excited about too in this upcoming game. So anyhow, yeah, I hope that answered your question, Brandon. But yes, back to Crash. We're gonna kind of zoom through these. He was originally Willie the Crash was originally Willie the Wombat. Before Naughty Dog even had a main character for their game, the title was jokingly codenamed Sonic's. Oh my gosh!
Sonic's what?
I didn't read that part. The title was jokingly codenamed Sonic's Ass Game.
Sonic's Ass Game.
due to the camera being consistently tethered behind the character. Once it was time to start thinking about a protagonist, Naughty Dog recruited artists Charles Zambella and Joe Pearson to create their game's main character. Their efforts led to the creation of Willie the Wombat, a character who didn't look that far off from the final Crash designs. In the final example of studio meddling, Universal's marketing director Universal's marketing director told the team that the character needed to be named either Wuzzles, Wizzy, or Wiz. Well, what were they trying to do, my friend? Naughty Dog proceeded along, but after reaching the breakthrough that their character should destroy crates, they changed his name to Crash Bandicoot to reflect his new action: dash, bash, and smash. Wow.
And then that's how they came with Crash Bash.
Right. 10. A failed reboot was planned in 2010 known as Crash Landed.
So close.
Sadly, Crash Landed, also known as Crash Bandicoot 2010, was canceled before the public even knew that it was something to get excited over.
Mm-hmm.
By the looks of things, that's a good thing. 9. There were almost Crash Bandicoot themed rides at Universal Studios. I would have enjoyed that.
I want that mascot costume.
You want the mascot costume?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can order it for you. Wouldn't it be something that people could kick back at Universal Studios Hollywood and go on a roller coaster that's getting chased by a giant boulder? No.
That would have been fine.
Yeah, it would.
And then if you run too slow, you get run over.
Right. What about racing a bunch of polar bear and tiger go-karts?
No, I want to brawl with Tiny.
Yeah.
I want to brawl with Tiny the tiger.
Yeah, that would have been very interesting.
Or you could have played that one game or basically like you could play out a game with Tiny that's basically similar to a Crash Bandicoot Wars when you had to jump to avoid him.
Yeah.
Or just run around and jump with him. That would have been hella fun.
It would have. I didn't read all of this one. Unfortunately, when Universal Interactive Studios licensed Crash out to Sony, it slowly led to the kibosh on ideas like this and a Crash animated series due to differences in opinions arising. Oh, well, that sucks.
Well, I'm still waiting for my real life Mario Party.
I think Sony is the responsible party here for why we didn't get all these great Crash stuff. Jeez. 8. Tana went through drastic
long time
changes.
ago. Wasn't it rumored that Crash might have had a Nickelodeon? Nickelodeon film. Yeah, Nickelodeon funded film.
I don't know. I don't remember hearing anything like that.
I think I did hear something about that, but it was like very briefly, or almost non-existently, like talked about. It was like one of those. It almost sounded like more of a rumor than anything because like Crash was kind of dead at the time.
Mm.
But to be fair, like I wouldn't have minded it. I mean, hell, they put Tak and the Power of Juju on there.
Well, to that point, Tak came out as a cartoon first.
Well, either way, like, you know what I mean. Like, it still could have been possibly done, but...
Well, I mean, I said that to say that, Tak, being that it started as a cartoon first, they had a reason to kind of try to capitalize off of the video game thing, whereas Crash was kind of like you said, nobody cared about Crash at the time. So coming out with the cartoon, I don't think the ratings would have been that high. But who knows? Who knows? I always wondered what happened to this chick, Tana. Tana went through drastic changes leading to her complete removal. In case you all don't remember, I want to show you guys what Tana looks like. She was the chick in the first Crash Bandicoot game.
I'm pretty sure they remember who she is.
If you remember her.
And if they played remaster, for sure they're going to see her in the first one.
Yeah. The original Crash Bandicoot sees Crash chasing after a shapely Tana as some sort of sexualized brass ring at the end of his efforts. However, this wasn't Naughty Dog's intention with the character at all. In fact, Tana was originally designed as much more of a wholesome Bandicoot, really. until Naughty Dog was forced to redesign her into a more demeaning piece of eye candy. I think they went a little far with this. Unsurprisingly, the new character designs drew a number of complaints from Universal Interactive over how the adult character seems to be out of place in a family game. This in tandem with Sony of Japan requesting a more family-friendly sidekick for Crash in the second game, which is, I guess, why we have Coco. Everyone is happy for Coco's existence, but it's a shame that Tana had to be degraded so much as a character. I wonder what it would have been like to play as Tana. Or what she would have done. I'm sorry, he's getting busy with his phone right now.
No, you know why?
What?
Because you were wrong about Attack of the Power Juju. That's what was bothering me, because I was like, no, because the game came before the show.
Did it really?
The game came out in 2003, and the show came out in 2007. I was like, what the hell are you on?
Well, I stand corrected.
That's why I was like looking. That's why I like looked at you and I was like, no.
I stand corrected. I could have swore that the wow.
No.
Well, yeah. Do you think
somewhat Uprise of Crash will we be seeing more of him, or just a cash cow they sent out? I don't think it was a cash cow by any means. Because to be fair, like, compared to all of, everyone's different mascots for their respected console systems, Crash and Spyro were part of Sony's, initial uprising per se. Like, there were staple titles that you had to play on PlayStation if you had never had one, because they were so good. And if we see a Crash remaster, I know there's been talk about a video somewhere that, Spyro could possibly be getting a remaster also. And it is possible that it can. Because this was, to see how well received a remaster of Crash would be after, so many years. And plus, last time we ever had a remote Crash-like game was, as I said, since Twinsanity. So, because of that, now that it was well received and people would like to have that again, not only could we get our Spyro remaster that people have been talking about, all the rage about, but who knows, like, if they make another Crash game and if Naughty Dog still teams up with it, then, then we got our new Crash game. Say cash cow because it seems like nostalgia has been a cash cow recently. It's up and down on that, yeah. I can't agree on that, but to be fair, it's like, it's what we loved, like, in all generality. Like, all this new stuff that's been coming out, it's been hit and miss. Like, just hope they continue. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they continue doing, nostalgia trips, or, a brand new game that still has that old nostalgia feel, like the Donkey Kong Country series. Like, Donkey Kong Country Returns, like, we haven't had a Donkey Kong Country game since 3. And when Donkey Kong Country Returns came out, it was still its own identity, but it still had that old nostalgic feel of what the core of a Donkey Kong Country game is. Because you still had to go from left to right, you still had to catch, all 4 of the letters if you so chose to, K-O-N-G, for an extra life if you wanted to. And you still had Diddy on your back, even though you weren't able to swap out with each other like back in the day, but that's still fine because you still had to have him in order to reach certain areas that you couldn't reach. So basically, they basically made you be more careful from getting hit. But that's, like, basically the point overall is, like, I wouldn't mind if they made new games that still had the core elements of what made that game.
I'm sorry. I so zoned out. But I'm glad you and Brandon, the two Brandons, had a great convo about DK. Okay.
I didn't pay attention to a damn thing I said.
I did not. I didn't. Number 7, Crash Team Racing started as an original.
I hope they don't brand it to the new
racing
generation.
IP.
Change it too much where it doesn't have the same overall feeling. Well, I mean, the Samus Returns game has been being well received as well. Still feels like, yeah, exactly, yeah, because I understand that they're now going back to what a lot of people really did like, and we didn't mind it staying that way. And then, when they started to change some certain things, sometimes it wasn't changed for the better. Sometimes it made it worse. Even though this kind of not doesn't fall under the same line, the Mario Party games. Mario Party 8, 9, and 10. From 1 to 7, you were able to just cause chaos amongst your friends by, stealing their coins or stealing their stars or whatever. Now they're all about, playing together. I mean, I understand they emphasize on playing together, but they're emphasizing like with working together and everything. That's fine, and like as happy-go-lucky as that is, from what I recall, what a Mario Party game is just causing chaos amongst your friends just for good laughs and etc. That's what made the old Mario Party games fun, was because not only were the mini games fun, but it's like causing just sheer immense amount of torture between one another. Like, it was just funny. We just found funny and just I mean, hell, the first game they made you steal coins for free. And then they're like, now they added a price tag for it on the second one onward. But, doing the first mode, the first Mario Party game was hard mode because you could just steal coins for free, still steal star for 50 coins, and then etc. Yeah. For having friends over for Mario Party. But now that we don't have that, like, not arguments, but, like, like headbutting with each other anymore. Yeah. Pretty much, and even if we're all working together in the later Mario parties, like nobody really like loses. Everybody wins. The only people that would lose in Mario Party 10 is you're playing Bowser by yourself on the Wii Pad, or all four of the playable characters that have to stop Bowser from making them lose.
He already knows how I feel about Mario Party and Nintendo and all that, so don't mind me.
We should make a series of you playing Nintendo games.
You know what? I said I was going to, thank you, Brendan.
No, like in all honesty, like
the way wait
wait.
The way he feels. Here's the thing, and we respect each other about it. But the way he feels about no, Brandon, you all cool.
It's fine.
You are all good. That's what this is about.
It's all about debates and everything. So
that's exactly what this is about. But the way he feels about Mario and DK and Zelda is exactly how I feel about Crash and sports and WWE and all that stuff. So you kind of get the best of both worlds here with the BRE Live. So yeah, there we go.
You know what we should do? We should have some Facebook Live feeds that you get to play a Nintendo game and you have to try to get through it as far as you can.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that. And I'd actually, the one I would want to do, because I played a lot of Nintendo games. I didn't dislike Mario. Like I liked Mario Kart 64. I loved.
A lot of people did.
But I always say CTR over Mario Kart. Sorry, but I wouldn't mind doing that with Wind Waker.
Oh man, that's gonna be a long ass walkthrough. Jeez. He's not going to know where he's going to go and everything.
I would love either Wind Waker or Majora's Mask. I don't know why I said those two, but I wouldn't.
Well, if anything, if we ever get a copy of it, I'll try to hold on to it so then we can play it and then probably invite people to come play with us. It'd be fun.
Yeah, see how far I get. But anyway.
We'll make sure you get last.
Correct, thanks. Crash Team Racing started as an original racing IP. After Naughty Dog impressed Universal Interactive Studios with their 3DO title, Way of the Warrior, they were assigned to a 3-game contract with the publisher. 3 games would, of course, become the first 3 Crash Bandicoot titles. Mm-hmm. However, after the completion of Crash 2, Naughty Dog found themselves in a unique situation. The team had developed an original racing property that featured block-headed characters, but they felt it would be aided by the use of the Crash license. They took their racing pitch to Sony and were accordingly given permission to develop another game for Universal and to turn this engine into Crash Team Racing. Thank God Sony didn't ruin that. If Sony hadn't gone with their proposal, Naughty Dog was prepared to continue forward with their title being a non-Crash racer. So, thank God Sony approved this and we didn't get the stupid blockhead racing game. Jeez.
It would have been Minecraft Racing.
Right. Number 6, Crash Twinsanity began as Crash Evolution, a platformer RPG.
I remember that.
Hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when that was first shown for a trailer that it was going to be a platformer RPG. And that was really cool, but then they just decided to... Sony can't ruin anything.
Yeah. That was interesting. Okay, were you done?
Yeah, you can just keep reading.
Number 5, the first Crash
levels... They're going to keep reading about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Crash wouldn't be an RPG?
Much like the troubled production history that took place on Wrath of Cortex, Crash Twinsanity would also experience a number of changes, turning into a shell of its original vision. To begin with, the title was originally conceived as Crash Evolution and was meant to be the Bandicoot's first platformer RPG hybrid. Crash Evolution's title was referenced to the series going in new directions, with many of the levels meant to be areas that were not typically seen in platforms. Crash Evolution was originally conceived as a GameCube game. But with the console appearing to be too limiting, it was reworked into Twinsanity and moved to the PlayStation 2. Why did they need to rework it? Why couldn't they just move the RPG over to the PS2 and the Xbox? Then this new game, this saw the game's development going back to the drawing board after a year of work, with the new strategy being the focus of the humor with Crash and Cortex relationship. That's stupid. The levels were in turn shifted more cartoonish environments. Oh my gosh, Sony, why?
As I said, this is where it started to.
Jeez. Okay, number 5. The first Crash levels developed were deemed too difficult. Hell yeah, yes they were. I still haven't beaten the first Crash game. Jeez.
You call yourself a fan?
I beat 2. I beat Wrath of Cortex. I beat CTR. I beat. I stopped there because the other one sucked. Oh, I left Crash Bash, but the first one, it was too long. It was like Croc. Jeez.
You heard it here.
Don't judge me.
You heard it here.
See, Sony was game. Right, Brandon. Right.
But anyway, one more time. You heard it here. The man who claims to be the biggest Crash fan has not beaten the very first Crash Bandicoot game.
I'm gonna go back and get it and beat it. The early Crash Bandicoot titles made a name for themselves. Whatever.
Fraud!
After difficult and even frustrating platforming challenges.
I never felt so lied to.
Gee, it's one thing. So what? Are you saying I'm not a Christian?
I'm a Catholic, if that makes you feel any better.
He's gonna ignore my good pun that I just threw out there.
I got it.
Anyway,
take me to church.
I like that song. I worship and the
like a sharp behind knife.
That's all I hear when he's singing. It's one thing to simply help Crash make his way to the end of a level, but more extravagant tasks like completing all the bonus rooms and achieving over 100% truly test the patience of even the most skilled gamers, and that's really what it did. As the Crash series would grow and evolve, it would naturally look for even more ways to reinvent platforming and new ways to be challenging. Yeah, all this just says that game was just stupid hard, the first one.
Well, if they had the harder designs, maybe they could have made that as an extra little bonus in Insane Trilogy, and that would have been fun that you could play those old levels here.
Right. This was very interesting. Mark Mothersbaugh did the soundtrack for the original Crash games. And the reason why this was interesting is because Mark Mothersbaugh also did the music for one of my favorite childhood series, Rugrats. Who knew? Sorry. Music is such a crucial component to video games. So that explains a lot. He's responsible for the what you were just doing. Sorry. According to the efforts of Josh Mansell, the production company, Mutato Musica, I think I said that right.
Mutato Musica.
Were enlisted to handle the game's soundtrack. Musica is that's what I said. Is a collective that's run by Mark Mothersbaugh and Devo fame, and their work is considerably astounding. Wow. So he was okay. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot took ideas from Naughty Dog's canceled AIO, Saurus, and Dynasty. During the infancy of Naughty Dog and the early beginnings of Crash Bandicoot, there was plenty of troubleshooting over what's the right direction for the game. Some of the most recognizable aspects of the Crash game are the bizarre hybrid designs of its villains, as well as the series' time-hopping, frenetic nature. Believe it or not, though, those were concepts associated with another Naughty Dog game entirely. Before Naughty Dog had signed with the Universal Interactive Studios to begin developing Crash, they had the idea for a 2D side-scroller called AIO, Saurus and Dynasty. The game would have featured Dynasty.
Like Einstein.
You think it's Steinstein?
Saurus and Dynstein.
The game would Dynasty. The game would have featured Feinstein. The game would have featured dinosaur evil scientist hybrids that were traveling through time, with the game leaning heavily into being Back to the Future and a Jurassic Park spoof. Thank God for Crash. Jeez. Once signing with the Universal, Naughty Dog's entire focus was moved to Crash. and the game was dropped. Thank God. Number 2, Crash Bandicoot was the mascot for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's school and youth programs. Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
This pretty much says they did a lot of nice things.
A lot of nice.
And number 1.
But he talks about everything else, but he doesn't talk about those with leukemia.
Fine. Oh, see, wow. Really? Crash's charity work is certainly one of the more confusing additions here, but it's still certainly worth commending. The plucky Bandicoot might have been keeping the universe safe from the likes of Dr. Neo Cortex for decades now, but a couple of people...
Cortex did not give kids leukemia and lymphoma.
But a lot of people don't know that he's also a huge opponent to malignant blood disease. In 2007, Vivendi and Sierra formed an alliance with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's school and youth program to officially make Crash Bandicoot the face and mascot for the cause. The organization is devoted to educating children and raising both money and awareness across the United States regarding leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. A partnership of this variety is especially sweet, but it's a little ridiculous that the timing of it all seems to render the generous alliance as some sort of advertisement for 2007's Crash the Titans. Regardless of the motivations behind the move, Mark Halacey, Executive Vice President for Human Resources of Vivaldi Games, goes as far to add Crash is a bandicoot with a big heart. He's brave, he's loyal, he's always ready for a good fight and a great cause. That was nice. I'm glad I read that. And number 1, the crate concept was added due to hardware limitations. Love them or hate them, those pesky crates that dominate the stages and bonus rooms of the Crash Bandicoot games are an unavoidable presence. That's why it's so crazy that these fundamental items were such an afterthought to the series and only decided on because of the limitation of the PlayStation console. Mm-hmm. Essentially, during Crash's development in 1995, Jason Rubin realized that there was too much open dead space in levels.
So they filled them in with crates.
Yeah. Additionally, test players were also solving the game's puzzles too quickly. Rubin's answer to this was adding crates to the experience, which would fill in any empty spots in the levels while simultaneously offering up additional difficulty. The first crate was added into the game in January of 1996, and it wasn't much longer until it became a defining gameplay aspect of the series, as well as Crash's namesake. The crates were also the final major touch added to Crash Bandicoot before Sony would agree to publish the game in March of 1996. Wow. And there you go, 15 things you may or may not have known about Crash Bandicoot.
Can I sleep?
Yes. I actually need to sleep. I had a really... I flew in, I got in last night at 10 o'clock, and then it was a half-hour drive to my uncle and aunt's house, and then as soon as I got there, I got in the car, so I didn't really get on the freeway till 11. I got into Fresno like 2 o'clock. It was dangerous.
I fell asleep at 5 in the morning. That makes you feel better.
At least you were laying down. So.
Alrighty.
Alright, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back Thursday, brand new topic, same time, though.
And we also, wait.
Oh, yes. Oh, and a trade-in. 30% more. You're getting 30% more this week on your retro games.
For PlayStation 2,
right.
Xbox, GameCube, and older.
Anything in that era. And yeah, that's the trade-in bonus going on right now. And then also remember, if you get in time, we have one more copy of 2K18.
And we will be
NBA.
getting Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite soon.
Yes, and I think I get to test try NBA 2K18 on Thursday, so you might want to tune in for that. Anyway, all right, peoples. Talk to you soon.
See ya.